And we are now officially, thanks to Zuckerberg, in an era where there is no difference between white supremacy and white nationalism. Now, this gets very confusing, so I'm going to look up the definition because I don't think anybody agrees on what they're talking about when they say white nationalism. I don't think there's agreement within the white nationalist movement, and I think it gets clouded because the two words, white nations, shouldn't be bad words. And the idea of having a white nation is an astonishingly good one. It pains me to have to remind people of that. It's the country you're living in right now, and the reason you like it there is because it's a white nation. And if you don't think that's the case, move to Africa or Cambodia, or I'll drop you in the middle of Latin America. If you have money, you can live well there. I've done that, but you're not going to enjoy it. And so why are we pretending like being white is bad or having a white nation, majority white nation, is bad? Are they implying that we're talking about ethno-states where we have 100% and it's this fantasy? That's a separate thing. That's different. But to lump these things together, it reminds me of a meme I made a couple years ago, and the general idea was this. White supremacy sounds a lot like white nationalism, which sounds a lot like white identitarianism, which sounds a lot like white advocacy, which sounds a lot like white people. So the line between those things has been deemed insignificant. If you say white anything, you're in trouble, you're on the hook. And the fact of the matter is there are very, very few white supremacists out there. They were on Jerry Springer. They're not even to be taken seriously. And as far as white nationalists, it's ridiculous to try to ban an idea when you live in the physical manifestation of that idea, and you are happy to do so. So what is this self-loathing? I don't understand it. So in public, we can't talk about even the idea of white nationalism. It can't even be criticized. I mean, they're just gonna poo-poo all talk of this. Well, thank you, Mark Zuckerberg. Thank you for making the world a better place. Now, just out of curiosity, will you be banning the cast and crew of the Black Panther, who, when asked if there was a country, Wakanda, which was a 100% black ethno-state, would they want to live there? They all immediately said yes.
Quick questions. Quick answers. Okay, go ahead. Say your name.
Hi, I'm Terry Engelhardt. My question is, if Wakanda was real, would you want to live there?
Yes. Yeah. That's a quick one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Go quicker than that.
So why don't you ban that, Zuckerberg? And there's dozens and dozens of black separatist groups, right, Keek?
Topping the list, the Ku Klux Klan with 221 related groups. They're followed by neo-Nazi groups, 170 of them nationwide. And that doesn't make any sense. So why is this Congressman King not focused on those groups and those threats?
Oh my God. Oh my lordy lord. Oh my. Could be my all-time favorite Jenk moment. God, he was unprepared. That was a curveball from hell. He was neck deep, and that's a thick neck. He was neck deep in his white people propaganda. He's talking about the KKK in like 2012, neo-Nazis, and then, oh God, who is the graphics department guy? Dude, you left me hanging here. Black separatists, and he can't even say it. He gets hung up on his own fat retardation. He's like, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for a black group to be classified as a hate group. Topping the charts, and it gets so much worse. Oh my God, it is so precious. Listen to it again and just soak it in, okay? Close your eyes and just find a chair or sit cross-legged on a cushion.
Topping the list, the Ku Klux Klan with 221 related groups. They're followed by neo-Nazi groups, 170 of them nationwide. And that doesn't make any sense. So why is this Congressman King not focused on those groups and those threats?
What about those dudes? It's fine to talk about that. So this is how far we have come, and we're moving in the wrong direction because the politicians will not reverse this trajectory. That's a tough word, and I nailed it. First time. The politicians are going to, we're talking about reparations.
We're talking about practice.
We're not talking about any realistic vision of, hey, these people kind of like living with these people and are more comfortable and they tend to have better societies, as in not drenched in criminality, and thugs and gangs. Nobody wants that, and that's why it's already the case. And I have been on record. I've lived in all communities all around the world. I've spent time in the Far East, in Thailand, in Latin America, a little time in Africa, but it was a little time because why the hell would I live there? Why? It's not as good. Why can't you just say that? Why can't you admit that? If it was any other way, I'd say it. When I was living in Melbourne, downtown Melbourne, it was mostly Chinese. Straight up. I was eating sushi. I was listening to didgeridoos and eating sushi. Okay, it's frigging Asian out of its skull down there. Nobody tells you about that. You get there, you're going there, you're thinking you're going to see Crocodile Dundee. No, it's some rice-faced dude with a big knife, but he's using it to slice up some salmon. And it's fine, it's whatever. But don't shut down the friggin' discussion. Zuckerberg, you have a platform. Use it to discuss things. That's the whole point. It's a communication app. You're trying to connect human beings to discuss ideas. Why are you shutting them down? Zuckerberg, you got famous because you stole an idea and you created a hot or not app for your college. It was binary, all right? You're not Thomas Edison. We don't need you. We didn't vote for you. And look at this picture that was thrown up with the Daily Beast. They got a burning cross, or I don't know, swastika? It looks like a burning Ferris wheel. And a bunch of dudes throwing up Nazi salutes. So exactly my point. So white nationalists equals Nazi? What? How hard is it for people to understand and have the balls to say, look, I grew up with black people. I grew up in not my hometown. They couldn't afford it unless they were the Los Angeles Lakers. That's a known fact. O.J. Simpson got close, but then he had some issues. But I was raised with black people. I was raised with black people in pop culture, music, sports, all of it. Got no issues with blacks. None. Aside from the fact that, oh, you want to get real? You want to talk about where you want to live? Black people don't want to live in black neighborhoods. Hey, go ask Tommy Sotomayor. Go ask Chris Rock. What do you think the first thing they do when they get money is leave the black community? Go ask OJ. And why? It's not because they don't like black people, it's because it's just objectively worse there. So can we talk about neighborhoods? Can we talk about suburbs? The south side of Chicago, Compton, LA? We can talk about that, but we can't talk about national things. Oh, do you want to get into Liberia and Zimbabwe and Uganda and the Sudan? I don't think you do. You want to talk about the difference between the black neighborhoods of South Africa and the white ones? Which do you want to live in? This is garbage, man. I haven't even read anything. Oh yeah, let me read this article. Facebook announced Wednesday that it will ban statements praising white nationalism. Oh, okay, so I can be against it? I can be against it. Okay, thanks, Mark. And white separatism from the site and from Instagram. Well, isn't Instagram all girls? Girls aren't talking about white separatism. So black separatism is a known thing. Why is that okay, but not white separatism? I want reparations for this article. Oh, God. Okay. The company said in a statement that based on recent conversations with members of civil society and academics who are experts in race relations, oh my God, send me a list of those people and their Twitter links. What color hair did they have, Mark? Experts in race relations. Well, I am the one and only official ambassador of the white race, so you might want to book me. I have risen up from the people, chosen by the people. I have taken the mantle. I will shoulder this burden. I will guide society through these dark times. And I will say, for the record, and maybe you're new to me, while I do advocate for white people and show a backbone and have zero white guilt, I'm also very much an advocate and pro every other race. It's called being a humanist. I mean, I'm not officially a humanist. It's called being a normal, moral human being. I love all the peoples of the world. I love them all. Let's all get along, but let's all live in reality. I'd rather be playing chess, or having sex, or listening to music, or watching movies. My Lord, who wants this? I'd rather laugh. I enjoy humor and comedy and joy. That fulfills me. Not some random discussion about race, but because I look around and there ain't nobody like me out there. That's why I became the ambassador. It is concluded that white nationalism and separatism cannot be meaningfully separated from white supremacy and organized hate groups. Okay, so the buzzword hate. So it's a hate group, right? You could phrase it as a love group. Those guys love themselves. But okay, yeah, it's all a hate group. Just one brush stroke. Stroke it, Mark. It's all white supremacy. Right. It's a funnel. If you say you're white anything, if I belong to a white chess club, these people would deem that a hate group. That's a white supremacist chess group. Now, if there's a black group, and there's tons of black groups all over the world, explicitly black groups, nobody says they're a hate group, and nobody says it's black supremacy, because it's condescending. They don't even give them the option of being black supremacists, because they're like, what? How is that possible? Yeah, bro. Cool story, bro. The slaves rose up and became the supreme ones? Huh? Didn't know. No, what? That's the underlying message when you don't even consider an all-black group to be black supremacist. If someone tries to post content that's determined to be separatist or nationalist, the site will redirect them toward a non-profit that helps people leave hate groups. Oh my lord. Great. The decision comes a year after Motherboard reported that although Facebook banned content that was classified as white supremacist, it explicitly allowed white nationalist and white separatist posts. Well, how about anything pro-white? Why don't we just get to the core of it? I like white people. I am more attracted to white women than any other women. Is that cool? YouTube, is that fine? Zuckerberg, are we cool with that? What is happening? And look, I'm not a, quote, white nationalist. By the way, let's look it up. So here's Wikipedia, and who knows how many people go by this definition, but white nationalism is a type of nationalism, or pan-nationalism, which espouses the belief that white people are a race, okay, I'm with you so far, and seeks to develop and maintain a white national identity. Yeah, that's how nations were formed. What kind of understanding of history is this? So wait, the Germans need a lesson in this, by the way. But yeah, to be German means something. To be Polish, to be Swedish means something. Now you can extend it. It doesn't have to be exclusively racial, but for God's sake, it most definitely should be in the discussion to talk about maintaining white majorities. Hello? I put my stamp of approval on this idea. This is completely valid. And if you want to publicly denounce this and be, ooh, this is faux pas, Devin, this is too crass, too blunt, too on the nose, then be my guest. But when you go home to your white suburb, paging Steve Shives, just know that you're living a life of total